Should female athletes be ladies?
Could your time on a Mepham athletic team take you across the globe and all the way to the NFL?
That's what we're talking, and it's what you'll be talking about if you're talking sports on BMB.
Hi, I'm Tom Morrow.
And I'm Lily Yepes, and this is episode 2 of season 4 of BMB Sports Talk.
COVID-19 still continues to impact the sports here at Mepham, but a sign of light has hit Mepham. In the meantime, there's actually lots of sports going on, even if people aren't playing in their Mepham jerseys. Lily, you're actually heading out this week on a showcase tour.
That's right, Tom. My team and I will be playing in Georgia for a showcase, and now showcases are more crucial than ever since COVID has messed up the recruiting system a little bit.
We'll have more on college showcases in the world of COVID when Lily gets back from her showcase. And best of luck to you, Lily. In the meantime, you got to know JFK Senior Rachel Nossen over the last few days.
That's right, Tom. Rachel Nossen is not only a star athlete on the JFK soccer and basketball teams, but she's also an author, recently writing an editorial posted in the JFK newspaper, the Cougar Crier, about a topic that couldn't be more 2020. Let's take a look.
The basketball season here in the high schools is always a big one. For the Kennedy Cougars, it was an adventure. The Cougars advanced to the Nassau Class A semifinals last season, the furthest the team has gone in program history. And unfortunately, about less than a month later, the world shut down.
I mean, it's definitely difficult because you realize that you only have one high school career, and then once everything is gone, I mean, once I leave, I know I'm gonna look back and be like, oh God, I really it wasn't the best circumstance not being able to fly.
For senior Rachel Nossen, it wasn't only making program history. Recently, she's looking to make a change throughout JFK High School. The change is instead of being called the Lady Cougars, it's just the Cougars. But why do this in her senior year?
Recently I've been more aware of what not even just what's going on in my high school, but what's going around the world. People have been looking at female sports in a different light than male sports, and they don't see it as as entertaining or as fun to watch, because they think that girls athletes are not as talented or able to do well in the sport. So when my basketball team made it this far this past season to the Final Four, after we got all the congratulations we see in the newspaper, oh, the Lady Cougars, and it just made me think about they're still trying to gender mark our sport as the other category and not the main thing that's being highlighted and spotlighted. So I wanted to bring light to the issue.
Well, the issue is certainly in the light now. The question is whether or not people will change their habits.
For me, it's funny. We almost use it as you can see, I've got my Mepham stuff on, but I'm not insulted if it got dropped. Often the times the girls, more or less, are could we not have ladies on our skier? So I think they're more affected. But for me, I like the differentiation of, well, this is our program. And maybe if you see a basketball thing and then it's the boys, or because the boys do say it all, boys basketball and stuff, or girls basketball. I guess that's different from the Lady Pirates, because a pirate to me would be either or.
I think if this term makes people feel that boys sports are more important than girl sports, then it should. But as long as the girl sports are getting the same opportunities and the same attention as the boys sports, then it isn't as significant.
For BMB, I'm Lily Yepes.
What a great story told there. But now, Lily, you're an athlete yourself. What do you think of this call for change at JFK?
I think that if people are really passionate about changing the lady in front of girls sports, I think that it should be changed. It'll be nice. Not many districts have this, so it'll definitely put us different from other districts. So Tom, what about you? Any thoughts about what we should call girls sports in our district?
Well, Lily, I would have never thought it would have came down to this. But like you mentioned earlier, it's almost like a 2020 type thing. If these athletes and these lady athletes are, like you said, passionate about this change, then I think it I think it could be effective. Do you think we might see a change like that here at Mepham, Lily? Do you think people would be in favor of this also?
Like I said, if it catches on and people are really passionate about changing it, I think that it will be changed. I mean, in JFK, they changed it, so maybe we'll see the trend here at Mepham. But, I mean, I guess we can see.
Turning from the future of girls' sports here at Mepham, let's turn to the past for our next Faces in the Cases. In 1991, Donny Brady was a star on the football field for the Mepham Pirates, but graduation brought an uncertain future. Donny turned that uncertainty into opportunity time and time again in a way that brought him all the way to the NFL. So here it is, this month's Faces in the Cases.
First and goal from the 9, and Calvillo looks into the end zone, and it's picked off. Donny Brady atones for the penalty with an interception in the end zone, snuffing the Alouette Pride.
1991 Mepham graduate Donny Brady went from picking off passes from high school quarterbacks to interceptions in championship games.
Favorite memory? Probably my favorite memory is just playing with my best friends. Playing with my best friends, practicing with them, just playing the game.
Starting to play the game he loves at 6 years old and taking it to the next level in high school, college, and the pros, Brady has memories from every level.
Probably the game I remember was when we played my senior year, when we were probably the best team, and we were playing Garden City. It was right before the season before we go to the playoffs. We played at their stadium when they had grass, and it was a really rainy game. So at the end of the game, I ended up spraining my ankle really bad, so that caused me to have, be a little slower for the playoff game. So that's probably my biggest memory.
After high school, it was Nassau Community College, and then starting 2 years in the Big Ten at Wisconsin, including a victory in the 1994 Rose Bowl.
I knew what I wanted to do, so I knew everything I did was a step closer towards that goal and that dream of mine. So when I got to, after Mepham and Macon County, I got to Nassau. That got me to another level as far as competition-wise, size-wise, ability-wise, and then when I got to Wisconsin, it was all just different steps to get further to my goal.
After college, Brady's journey made stops in the NFL and the CFL, where he won 2 Grey Cup championships and being a 2-time CFL All-Star. Brady has brought all that experience back to Bellmore, where it all began.
I was fortunate enough to open up an athletic training facility called Proficient Sports Training, where I train athletes from all different sports, and I train adults as well in a athletic way, kind of the way I trained when I was playing. Unfortunately, the pandemic slowed things down, but it's just part of the new world. You got to adjust. I'm still working. I'm still training. I'm just making sure everything is safe for my clients and for myself.
Brady's football skills took him from the backfields of Mepham to around the world, including high school championships to professional championships.
Me, I won championship games out there. I've been to the version of the Super Bowl, which is called the Grey Cup. But at the end of the day, it's still just football, so it's the sport I love to do. So it doesn't matter where I'm playing, I'm still gonna play hard.
For BMB, I'm Tom Morrow. Joining us for this month's The View is 1991 Mepham graduate and former NFL cornerback Donny Brady. So welcome to the show, Donny.
Thanks for having me.
After Mepham, you attended Nassau County Community College and went to play at the University of Wisconsin. Getting the opportunity to play in college, how did this impact your professional career?
Well, that was just part of my journey. Like I said, when I started playing at 6 years old, I knew what I wanted to do. So I knew everything I did was a step closer towards that goal and that dream of mine. So when I got to, after Mepham and Macon County, I got to Nassau. That got me to another level as far as competition-wise, size-wise, ability-wise, and then when I got to Wisconsin, it was all just different steps to get further to my goal.
Going from Nassau Community College to an elite Big Ten Wisconsin Badgers team, what was the transition like?
The transition was pretty easy because the competition was so great at Nassau. We, everybody on my team were D1 athletes, and we competed every day because we just had the hunger for winning and the hunger to be great. So it was an easy transition for me. So it felt like, I didn't miss a beat when I got there. I got there as a junior, so I was already grown. I got the freshman stage out of me, which is a big plus. So when I got to Wisconsin, I'm already a veteran. I already know how to work hard. I know what it actually takes. So the learning process is a little smaller.
Then after college, you were an undrafted free agent, playing your first year with the Cleveland Browns, then the last 3 with the Baltimore Ravens as a cornerback. What was the feeling like running out of the tunnel for the first time and making your NFL debut?
It was the experience was like no other. When I finally put the NFL helmet on and the NFL jersey, and I stood there and my name was called out, it's a culmination of all my visions I had from when I was 6 years old, all the times playing in the schoolyard, Sawmill Road Elementary School with all my friends. It was telling all my friends my dreams that it finally came true. And, it was just a great feeling. It's hard to explain that feeling because, nobody really knows my journey but me, the steps I took and the hard work that I put in. So it was just a relief, but at the same time, it doesn't stop,
Unfortunately, your NFL season ended short due to a knee injury. But after 3 to 4 years off the field, you then returned to a pro football team in 2002, playing 6 seasons with the Canadian Football League's the Edmonton Eskimos and winning 2 Grey Cup championships in that time. What was it like being out for 3 to 4 years from something you loved and had been playing since you were a kid, then coming right back into it?
Well, I actually went back to school and I became a assistant strength coach for the University of Wisconsin while still attending classes. And that gave me the chance to train. So what I was doing was I was actually training with the football team, the team that was the current team at that time. I was training with those players, and I was training with the players that were getting ready to enter the draft that year. So my competition level was still high. So I was always in the weight room. So I was always in the weight room. I was always on the field. So I never stopped working out. I just kept on busting my butt and still believing that I would eventually get the chance to play football again.
It was just about this time last year when you made your appearance here at Mepham, when Mepham hosted Sewanee in the homecoming game. Mepham eventually went on to win that game, but what was it like to be back on the field where it all started for you?
It was a great honor. The biggest honor was that I was able to have my mother and my brother and my nephews there on the field with me to enjoy that moment. But the fact that Mepham honored me was a great feeling, and I felt really appreciated.
Thanks, Donny. We appreciate you taking the time out to join us on the show.
Tom, what do you think of spending some time with Donny Brady?
Well, Lily, it's awesome. Someone that started playing football in the backfields at Mepham was a student here at Mepham, just like us, but then had the motivation and dedication for football to keep going to the next level. The big thing I took away was uncertainty and opportunity. Every time in his life Donny faced uncertainty, he turned it into an opportunity. He graduated from high school without a scholarship. He took that uncertainty, went to Nassau, and turned it into an opportunity at Wisconsin. After college, he wasn't drafted, but he turned that into an opportunity as a free agent. And then in the CFL, he turned that opportunity into the NFL. At every step in his life, he created opportunity out of uncertainty, eventually leading to 2 championships in the CFL.
Absolutely. But now, over to Manno's Minute, where Matt Manno will cover the world of sports and the way only he can.
Thanks, Lily. I'm Matt Manno, back with the Fast Minute in Sports. Let's start the clock. Everyone loves to bet on their favorite teams and try to predict the outcomes of games, right? Well, not everybody. My predictions have panned out so horribly wrong, I've started to believe that they're cursed. I call it the Manno curse, and it has no limits. March Madness brackets are a tradition, and of course, I filled out some brackets too. Let's go back to 2018, where the Virginia Cavaliers are the overwhelming favorite to win it all, and I bought into the hype, picking them in all of my brackets. Rookie mistake, I know. They proceeded to become the first 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed. The next year, I don't pick them to make it out of the lead, and what do you know? They win it all. The same scenario happened with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the LA Dodgers these past few years. And the Manno curse doesn't just apply to humans. Oh no. In last year's Kentucky Derby, I predicted that Maximum Security would win. And it did, until it got disqualified for an in-race foul. Because, of course it did. And to top it off, I've been on record making some pretty bad predictions. Roll the clip.
And I have confidence that the Patriots will beat the Broncos.
That didn't turn out well for me, now did it? This has been the Fastest Minute in Sports. I've been Matt Manno. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Matt. That will wrap up Sports Talk Season 4, Episode 2. Make sure to follow our social media for the latest updates and much more. For Matt Manno, I'm Tom Morrow.
And I'm Lily Yepes. And remember, we're always talking sports.